everybody, this is Vanessa from the Full Throttle family, and here we are. This is April 26th. This is at MOTOPARK, and the Steel City Riders have put on this season opener for their club, a cross-country race. I didn't even know who they were, but I was invited, and I'm happy I went out. This is the second day on my bike. We went out the Friday and we got to pre-ride the course because we helped flag them. So that was the only seat time I had of the season, since there is still snow in the bush here in Sudbury. So this was called Rock the Rust Cross Country, which is a great name because you're literally shaking the cobwebs, getting the rust off. Hopefully you did some bike maintenance over the winter. And of course, it is freezing cold, pouring rain, and super slippery. Videos never do it justice, but it's that kind of terrain that as soon as you start to give her, if you're not a great rider, which I'm not, you're just sliding everywhere. No complaints, no excuses about my tires. My tires were great. This was actually the first race I've done on my 200, so yay, that was pretty cool. So the start was a little bit chaotic. There was an A class, B class, C class, so I would assume there should have been only 3 rows, but I think half the C class went, and then the other half, like, I'm in the back going, oh, like, are we doing another start? So I think we should have all went at the same time, but really it doesn't matter. I'm using this solely as a trail ride, because the next day I got to race the Beagle Bash Enduro, which is put on by Off-Road Ontario, and that goes towards the Enduro series, so you can get points. So I'm using this as a pre-ride, getting ready for the next day's race. Obviously, I could have maybe put a little bit more thought into it, that I would probably have been super sore for Sunday because I'm obviously really rusty from being off all winter. But you know what? Because I worked out all winter, lifted a lot of weights, I really wasn't sore from this race. It was an eye-opener that, you can lose some bike skills over the winter. But I'm so happy I did it. This was like the worst conditions, and Sunday was beautiful, 20 degrees, blue skies, dusty. So I'm not talking because I know what's going to happen here. You can kind of tell where this is going. Everybody was struggling. So yeah, this course was 7 kilometers. There was nothing not doable. If it would have been dry, this would have been really easy. So you have 2 hours to complete as many laps as you can. I only did 3. I could have went in for a 4th, but I was like seconds away from the 2 hours, so I just stopped before waited like a couple seconds, and then crossed and got the checkered flag. So this little guy here in front of me, he's a bit of a little rock star. He was the youngest one there. I think you had to be 14 to ride. I don't know if he's 14 or not, but he can't even touch the ground on his bike. I think it's kickstart only. Oh, there he goes down. Everybody's going down everywhere, but he's definitely the MVP of this race. Way to go, buddy. So yeah, none of these hills are anything crazy, but they're just so slick, so muddy. Everybody's so rusty from the winter that we are making this look so dramatic.
There's Nathan! Woo! I know, me neither.
So that was my husband telling me, like, hurry up, go, because normally in a race, I am not stopping, I'm not taking breaks. I don't always film, but I knew that this was going to be just a fun joyride, so I figured I could probably get some thought I would get better footage, to be honest. My first lap is what you're watching. It is slow, it is slick, it is boring. My second and third lap were obviously a lot quicker, but I didn't want to stop and change my battery.
Jesus!
Yeah, I suck. But yeah, my husband was like, go, go, go. It's like, dude, like, we're just trying to survive here. I've got a race the next day that is more important to me because it's worth points. So here it's more like perseverance, preservation. Woo. Couldn't feel my fingers. You hear my buddy on the other side saying he can't feel his fingers. Your nose is running. But yet, I don't know, we put ourselves through this because it's so much freaking fun. Here I'm a bit of a dink.
Sorry, boys.
And I stopped a couple times and helped a few people. If somebody's hurt, obviously you stop. But if somebody's just tip over picking up their bikes, if I'm in a race, if I'm in a time section, I usually do not stop and help. But in this case, everybody's just, struggling. So yes, you're gonna stop and you're gonna help people pull their bikes up hills. I did see a lot of camaraderie. I swear I can speak English. Je parle français aussi, but I think that would be worse if I did this in French. So this little hill wasn't so bad on the first lap, but for some reason it just got slicker and slicker as the hours went on. And God bless everybody's hearts here. It was a shit show for a lot of people. I didn't have a problem on this hill except...
Hi. How's it going?
Not very well.
I'm just really taking my time.
Me too.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. Not very well. Yeah, so the only drama that I had was this lap here that you can see. Yep.
Thanks, dude.
Just the way where the guy was stopped, I just had a hard time cutting the angle and just fell on the wrong side of the hill. It happens.
Sorry, buddy.
I'm apologizing because now I'm worried that I'm blocking somebody else's way. So there's my husband. He was at the top of that hill for a good part, and then he eventually went down to the other hill that I just fell over at the top, just to help people drag their bikes up, because the people were just having a really hard time getting traction up that little hill. So I'm not liking what I'm doing with my clutch. I greatly improved the next day at the Beagle Bash. I'm just not super used to my 200 yet, and I'm trying to lug it too low. So I'm often in third gear when I should be in second. First gear I think is kind of useless on this bike. It's just so quick to get out of it.
Hi, Ryan.
Again, I don't normally do that in races.
Whoa. Can't park here.
Like, what a mom joke. Can't park here, God.
That was a dumb move.
That was a dumb move, yes, and a dumb comment. Yes, love when people cheer you on. So yeah, I'm just slipping my clutch too much. I'm not revving it. I did on Sunday start, pinning it more to win it. This bike wants to be revved. It is a 200. I'm used to riding a cross trainer where you can lug.
That is the hard there. I'm going to avoid the pond. go this way.
So there was a few splits. This was a split there. If you went left, it was quicker, but there was a log that was sort of near this little puddle or pond. So not worth it to slide into the pond, in my opinion. So I took the chicken line. I took the chicken lines. I think most of the race.
Here.
And I've cut a ton of parts out of this because I made this video under 15 minutes. I don't think anybody wants to watch me ride at this turtle pace for more than 10 minutes. Even if you made it 10 minutes, it's pretty darn boring. But a lap took, I think, about 40 minutes.
Legs dragging.
That section was so slick, that
We're gonna go this way.
mud. There was a split there. I really regret not taking the hard line because I think it was totally doable. And I just really chickened out and decided to take this other line because I knew that I could 100% make it. The other one would have been more of a challenge, but quicker if you would have made it up.
People are watching.
So big shout out to the Steel Riders for putting this on. This is so much work getting these races ready, and for MOTOPARK for hosting this event. That was really cool. So if you haven't been to MOTOPARK, it is primarily a motocross track. What's cool about it is that there is also trails, as you can see, that you can ride. And there is bathrooms, there is showers, you can camp there, there is a restaurant, there is a shop, there is a like a dirt bike maintenance shop where you can they spit shine my bike for $30, but I mean, like, my bike looked brand new after this race. Yeah, there's a store where you could get your numbers printed on your jersey. There is a little mountain bike pump track. You can rent hotel rooms there, but you have to stay 2 nights to be able to rent a room. So highly recommend checking it out. We had a great time. I will be back next year if they put this on, and this club puts on other events that I will be sure to check out. I'm not from the GTA, but I used to live in the GTA, and I didn't dirt bike then, but to find out that there is some tracks and some properties down there that you can have access to without going to Barrie, that's pretty cool. So definitely check them out. Thanks for watching. My plan for the rest of the season, I'm going to be doing the Enduro series for sure.
Yes.
I'll be doing some cross countries, and I'm racing in the 35 plus class this year. So see ya out there. Peace.